on behalf of the City of Toronto, the key to the City of Toronto.
Animation comes in so many different forms. How would you say you honed your style while you were in school?
I mean, I got into animation because I just like storytelling. It was a way for me to become a filmmaker. And I thought that that's where I would start my career, is being an animator. But I knew that I wanted to tell stories. And luckily, the year I graduated, DreamWorks Animation was at Industry Day, and they were actually starting up a story program for trainees. And so I applied, and it was like a SHREK test where they give you a scenario and you have to write the scene and storyboard it and send it in. And this is actually kind of a funny story because I was working till the last second. I actually called FedEx to ask them, because it was overnight delivery to LA, and I actually called them and I said, where is your last receiving office? And it was right by the airport, Pearson. And so my mom drove me to this FedEx at the airport, and I was still drawing in the car, and I got into the office and they had closed the doors, they locked it up, and they were like, oh, you're good for another 30 minutes. That's when the last shipment goes out. And so I worked till the last second. And as I was sending it out, I told my mom, if I get this, it's going to change my life. And I did, and it changed my life. So sorry. So it's crazy that everything just kind of lined up. But I did work really, really hard to get here. But it was through a lot of luck and a lot of opportunities that came my way, and mentors, and all that stuff kind of lining up with hard work that gets you where you want to go, I guess. Yeah. When I was kind of given an opportunity to possibly step into a directing position, and I was asked by Aaron Warner, who is a friend of mine now, and but he produced all the SHREK films, so I knew him at DreamWorks and I worked with him. Maggie, I think we should work together. I really want to make you a director, and do you have something to pitch me? Because I'm here and I'd love to hear a pitch that's a bit more international focused. And I said, yeah, I do, even though I didn't have anything. But that's what you do. You have to always just, take those opportunities. And my husband and I, who is also a director and writer as well, and we met at DreamWorks. We spent a week, and I had a bunch of ideas, wanting to do something Korean and some type of female representation. And he was like, why don't you put those together? And so we did, and added the K-pop element as a little icing on the cake, and it changed everything, really. It made it a musical, made it more exciting. It just instantly made it like an elevator pitch. It was a 5-word pitch, and Aaron was like, I love it, let's do this. and that's how it started, yeah.
Wait, what were the 5 words? It wasn't actually a 5-word pitch.
I mean, it was K-pop idols who are demon hunters.
Yeah, that's a good pitch. That's a good pitch. Yeah. And you also chose to use relatively unknown artists for the soundtrack. Was there ever consideration to bring in a well-known K-pop name to sing?
We did, yes. I mean, and it's a very long story to go into that. With EJ, she was writing a lot of the songs. She was doing a lot of the demos, and so it just kind of made sense to just keep her. It worked out great. But casting was very challenging because a movie like this doesn't exist, and opportunities like these characters don't exist for Asian women. And one of the things that I firmly held was that I wanted all of our cast to be Korean. I really wanted them to have Korean fluency so that the Korean isms come out in the acting, and that made it extra challenging. And at first, there were dreams to cast a voice actor that could also sing, and we did 3 rounds of global casting in 3 different continents. We didn't find anybody. It took almost 2.5 years to cast, and we just got very lucky, and everybody kind of slotted in the right roles. But that's the reason why we have separate voice acting and singing. But we needed real actors to portray the characters in the acting because the movie is very demanding, the acting part. Maybe we can find some of that talent now, but it's really difficult to find somebody who can act at that caliber but also sing at that caliber. So yeah.
I'm sure you have no shortage of people who want to work on the sequel.
I think so, a little bit. We might have a lot. I mean, I personally get audition tapes even,
Unsolicited. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.